Okay, so this is going to be part one of a two-part that I do. So part one is going to be what I think AMD needs to do to provide a reason for people to buy their product. People who aren't already buying their product. So what were we at last? We knew 88% Nvidia market share, some nonsense like that. So in order to get their number up, market share up, AMD is going to have to steal product or market share from Nvidia. The people that buy Intel are probably, there's such a tiny minority with the ARC product, as interesting as it sounds, or as interesting as it seems, that obviously that market share is going to have to come from Nvidia. And in order to do that, they're going to have to make a compelling offering, which for the most part, except for, you know, a sale here, a sale there that brings a Nvidia or an AMD video card into a price where it's, you know, so competitive somebody has no choice. Other than those sales, you know, a lot of the products are so similarly priced to their Nvidia counterparts. I just don't think it's a compelling offer. So I want to talk about that. And then on the second part of this video, I'm going to talk about something that some of you might care about, many of you probably won't care about, which is what would make me personally switch my primary video card over to AMD. So what it would take for me to actually go out and buy an AMD top tier video card, not merely in addition to, but instead of a Nvidia top tier video card. And I think a lot of you probably don't give a crap what I think, but that's for those of you who do. So part one on this, and I'm doing this because this is generating some really interesting comments. There's some really interesting discussion that I've seen on these videos, and I think it's a conversation that should continue happening. So I wanted to do a video specifically about it. So I think there's the outlandish situation, which probably isn't going to happen, which is Nvidia goes bankrupt and stops making video cards tomorrow. Then it doesn't care what AMD puts out, people are going to buy it. Okay. Barring that. So I think what AMD really needs to do is they need to, well, I guess two things. One thing that you could do is you could just overwhelm the market with a product so much better at either so much better or so close to equal at so much better of a price that people who are on the fence, and particularly price-conscious buyers, have no incentive not to buy it. They have no choice not to buy it. Sometimes when I go and buy a product, it's not even necessarily something I need. It's a situation where the deal is so good that I can't not buy it. My new OLED gaming monitor there that I picked up last week, that was a situation where the deal was just so good, I couldn't not buy it. I had to buy it. So if AMD were to put out that offering, it's not gonna drag the people like me that are willing to pay massive amounts of money for that last couple of percentages of performance away. It's not gonna drag us in, but it is gonna drag in the people who are on the very edge of what they can afford, and AMD just gives them such a compelling option they have no choice. That's option one. The other option that's, I think, option one, I think, is probably their best bet in the short term. The long term, and I mentioned this in a comment to somebody a little bit ago. The long term, I think what AMD needs to do is they need to go do some market research, and they need to find one thing, maybe a couple things, but realistically one thing that buyers actually want and actually need that Nvidia either isn't doing or isn't doing well. Obviously, it's not ray tracing. That's not going to be the thing. I don't think it's upscaling either. It's something else. I don't know what it is. If I did, I'd pitch it. I'd be making money. But they need to do some market research, and they need to find that thing. And then they need to spend a couple of years just honing that one thing so that, and it'll be a niche thing. It'll be something where it's not the thing that everybody needs, okay? But it'll be something that a specific set of creatives need. Maybe it'll be a video card that works better with, I don't know, what are they on now? CATIA, Maya, those kind of 3D programs. You know, a consumer card at an affordable price that's rated for that pro software that people normally pay a ton of money for. You know, something along those lines. Maybe you know, maybe a card that's particularly good at I don't know. You know, something that leapfrogs Nvidia on CUDA, no, not CUDA, but like Nvidia's NVENC encoder, you know, something like that. Something where it's a niche thing that a certain group of people need, and they make theirs so much better than what anyone else has to offer that when that group of buyers goes to buy a product, they have no choice but to buy AMD, just like we are right now, basically with CUDA, where CUDA, yes, I know there have been some comments, there is a AMD compatibility layer or something. It's everything I have heard is that it's not a reason to buy. I could be wrong on this. I'll do some more research, but everything I was aware of and the research I've done is that it's not a reason not to buy Nvidia. It's simply a value add if you already have the AMD product and you suddenly need the capability and you don't really have another choice. Oh, I mean, that's great. That's great. We need that. Those buyers that bought, you know, a 7800 XT or something shouldn't be locked out of that capability. You know, they should be able to have an option to turn to if they need. But it's not a reason for somebody who's willing to spend the money on a 4080 not to buy a 4080. So, you know, but, you know, something along those lines, or, you know, something where at the very least it gives somebody a reason not to not buy the AMD card when they could have only bought the Nvidia card before. Something along those lines. Just some niche thing that gives people a kick in the pants to go with AMD. That's what I think. That's what I think they need to do. You know, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let's try to stay away from the fanboy emotional, oh, well, you just hate AMD. I don't hate AMD. I want to see AMD. I said this on the last video about this. I want to see them succeed. I want to see them put out a product that I can buy that's so compelling where I actually have to think long and hard and do some research as to whether or not the AMD card, top card, fits my needs best, or the Nvidia card. And I do not have that right now as a buyer who is willing to pay the top dollar for the best card. And I want that. So anyway, I hope you guys find this interesting. And like I said, the next one that I do, I'm filming these videos back to back. So the second one is going to be what it would take for me personally, and I've kind of alluded to it, but what it would take for me personally to buy an AMD product instead of a Nvidia product. So thanks for watching the video.